I will say, yeah, I'll take your card. Can we follow each other on Instagram? So we'll pull our phones out. We'll follow each other immediately. What now happens for the next 2 weeks in particular? The algorithm will say, Instagram algorithm will say, okay, Wendy just started following Sheena. She's really interested. That must mean she's freshly interested in whatever Sheena's content's about. We're going to make sure Wendy sees Sheena's Insta stories like every day for the next 2 weeks.
Oh, it does do that. I have noticed this.
It prioritizes your new follows because you've expressed new interest in a thing. So it wants to make sure your new interest doesn't get buried. This is a 2-week window of time where you, even if you post on Insta story once a day, and when I tell you it could be a picture of a cup of coffee, like I don't care what it is. This is why I love this so much. It's keeping my name top of mind on your Instagram. You're seeing my name, you're seeing my business every single day for 2 weeks at least, if not longer, as long as I'm consistent. And that power, that like the power of that kind of burns me into your subconscious.
Welcome to the Nonprofit Nook, the podcast for nonprofit leaders, board members, and community changemakers who want to build stronger, smarter organizations. I'm your host, Wendy Kidd, a longtime business owner and nonprofit leader, and I'm here to bring you real talk, real tools, and real stories to help you thrive in the nonprofit world. I'll be talking with local nonprofit leaders, community changemakers, and experts in everything from board development to fundraising and digital tools, sharing real stories and simple strategies you can actually use. Because running a nonprofit is hard, but you don't have to do it alone. Let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Nonprofit Nook. Today we have Sheena Kelso. Sheena is the founder of Behind Your Scenes, a social media and video skills education company helping established professionals show up on Instagram the way they already show up in real life. Her entire adult career has been in entrepreneurship, spending 2 decades in the event industry where she learned visual storytelling from the ground up. And that foundation shapes everything about how she works with clients today. She works with corporate clients, speakers, and public figures, both as a content capture specialist and as an educator. And here's the thing, even Sheena has been there. Before launching Behind Your Scenes, she was working as a social media manager for others and still went a full 12 months without posting on her own Instagram. If the social media manager can't keep up with her own socials, no wonder the rest of us feel like we're falling behind. She's on a mission to change that and make social media feel less like a chore and more like a tool that actually works for you. Welcome, Sheena.
Thank you. I'm so happy to
love that
be here.
Put that out there that you haven't posted in a year before. I mean, I know I'm guilty.
I mean, it was honestly super embarrassing. People would want to go to my Instagram and I'd be like, please don't. Ironically, it's the classic, the cobbler's children have no shoes situation, right? It's like, I can do this for everybody else, but for myself, it fails. And it still can fall into that trap. But, through social media managing, I was able to identify a lot of pain points of like, why can this happen for others? Why can't I do it for myself? How do I self-diagnose? And how do we like make this sustainable while running a business? Like I could have been doing anything, a wedding planner, a cobbler, and still like suffer with my social media if I don't understand like why can't I do it? Like why can't I keep up with it? So that's what I'm out to change.
I love that. I love that mission. And this is why I have you here, because I hate social media as a Gen Xer. I'm just going to put it out there. I hate it. And
yeah.
I never know what to post. And we've known each other for years and I loved your really fun club that you came up with. And I was like, I need to listen to Sheena more because she knows how to make this seem really easy. And I need this to be easier in my life. So that's kind of what I want to start with is the reels, the video. So why does video content feel so hard for so many nonprofit leaders?
Well, I think you nailed it in that there's a generational situation. Unless you're, I don't know, a nonprofit leader that's Gen Z, which bless you, this probably feels easier to you. We were not digital natives. We were not born and raised with iPhones in our faces growing up our entire life. Like we our relationship with media and camera is different. And then factor in the fact that we're just older, so we look different. We don't look like we're in our 20s anymore. We have inherent insecurities and fear of being cringe, and we're comparing ourselves to the cute little bops that are that are like all over in social media, making you feel too old, uncool, not cute enough, et cetera, not funny enough, all the different things. So I think it just feeds into insecurities that are there. Um, and then we just don't do anything. We just figured, screw it. This isn't for me. I'm not good at it. I hear that all the time. Well, I'm just not good at this.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
and I challenge people to say, well, back with, you're not good at what? Like, being the person you're watching and comparing yourself to, or you're not good at being yourself? Are you not good at your job? Well, that's not true. You're really good at your job. So, what are you not good at? And it's not really about being good. It's about it's a little bit of mental woo-woo. It's about personal like choice and insecurity, but also there are some skills you might not be actually good at that are very, very fixable. And I have decided, like decidedly so, when people get better at the certain little skills that make your content look better, you inherently become more confident and you start doing it more. You don't do things you don't enjoy doing, right? Like you don't do things you
Right.
feel bad at. So if you feel bad at it, you will just won't you won't do it. So we have to fix that. We have to unlearn and rewire.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay. So I'm going to pick apart kind of what you said there. So one of the
Yeah.
things you said is, we look different. We have a little insecurity about being on camera. So
Yeah.
what should someone do if they hate being on camera? Where should they start? Because I
Okay.
actually asked you this question. I loved your answer to me. So
Oh my gosh.
I'm
I
just
don't know if I
going
remember what my answer was, but I'll tell you what I'm thinking of right now, and then you can tell me if this is what I said. Um, if you don't like being on camera, I think the easiest way to start building that muscle and getting comfortable is not just sitting in front of the camera and talking to it and trying to like talking head reels, which we'll talk about, are very effective and good and important. But if that still feels like the self-conscious still gets into the way, um, literally filming yourself just existing, creating B-roll of you on camera. Practice just getting yourself on camera, even if you're not looking at it. Maybe it's you working in your studio. Maybe it's you working at the office. Maybe it's you typing on the computer. Just build like it's almost like exposure therapy. This is exposure therapy. You need to get the camera out and just film you existing in your work and get used to that because that's usable footage. You can use that for actual content. Once you get used to that, then you can dial it up a little bit and maybe start being more intentional about talking to camera or being on camera like on purpose with other people. But that's where I would start if you're not feeling it. I would also say, know what you feel, decide what you feel like you look good in. Like I have a Reels uniform. Like I have content clothes that I know I think they're good colors on me. I think they cut like they fit they're flattering fits and cuts. And I know if I film something in it, I will show up better because I feel more confident in it. Treat it like a costume. Like treat it like a have clothes or things that make you feel good about yourself, and just decide like whenever I'm going to film, I wear those outfits because that's another one. People just don't feel like they're camera ready enough or whatever. So I personally have my own little Reels wardrobe.
I love this. And you did say exactly what you told me for my
Did
own
I? Okay.
business.
Okay.
So
Good.
check mark.
Okay. Good. It's like, oh no, this is testing me, but I do believe in that.
It actually made me feel a lot better to have that smaller step because I think a lot of us, while we all go and scroll on social media, we don't
Yeah.
really analyze it for what it is. Or if you're like me, you don't.
Hmm.
And I never even thought about the fact that I could just film myself while I was doing some prep work or
Yeah.
answering the emails
Yeah.
or sitting outside and enjoying a glass of tea and journaling
Yeah.
or whatever. It
Yeah.
never occurred to me that that was an option.
Yeah.
And I really appreciated such a small step to start with. Now, I'll
Yeah.
be real, I haven't started it yet, but my
That's
goal is
okay.
to start this month. And I know we're getting close to the end of the month, so I know I need to do it. But I
Yeah.
did do a brand photo shoot
Good job.
recently.
Nice.
And there was a lot of that happening, and
Good.
I've been
Yeah.
promised that someone will teach me how to use that footage and put scrolling words, etcetera. So I'm very excited that there's already some of that in the can. So
Okay, well, and I'm gonna so okay, let's make this a practical application. Let's say you know you are a nonprofit, you are running an organization. You're thinking, okay, how does a video of me typing away at my computer, like, how do I even use that?
yeah,
It's all about it's ultimately right. Social media is attention. People come for entertainment or to learn something, like that can actually help them, and then occasion and then yeah, entertainment and to learn something. So in your case, in a nonprofit's case, you are trying to get a message across really, really fast, because also you got to get people's attention. So yes, you typing away at a computer is not riveting footage. That's not going to stop the scroll.
right.
So then you would rely on your uh, text hook, like what your language is. So maybe instead of like I'm Wendy and I do X, Y, and Z. Boring. I don't care who Wendy is. But what I might care about is like a really jarring fact or statistic about the organization that you're a part of, maybe the people you serve, or some sort of kind of like, even like a stop the scroll, 7% of seals die when this happens. Like, I don't know, like whatever your organization is,
Right. Yes,
like something,
yes.
whatever, like a kind of a what sort of fact that stops your scroll, and then they're gonna want to hear what the next, like what the payoff is. What is how does your organization solve the seal death? All of this text could be happening while you're typing away at a computer. They do not have to be related. It's called a non sequitur. Your visual does not have to match what you're talking about on screen. It's all just ways for the brain to like connect. That is why video is more effective than a still image with copy on it. Nothing's moving. And unfortunately, people need things to move for us to know if we should care about it. So that's how I would apply the boring footage, the B-roll footage of you doing that. Just make sure your
Right.
words or your hook is like, wait, what? What was that fact? What's that interesting
Mhm.
thing? Um,
Mhm.
and I would say it's just also, this is getting so in the weeds, but a lot of people have, it is bad form to make people have to go to your captions and read the rest now because people just they're like, too much work. Like we're getting so lazy. We don't want to go to the captions anymore. So don't play
It's
that
true.
game with your audience anymore. Give them everything they want to read in your reel. Give all the facts in your reel. Um, because A, that's great for your engagement. They're watching your reel longer and you're not like making them do another step to like learn more about your organization.
That's so true. So
Yeah.
true. I feel like and I've again, I'm gonna just hit on myself.
Mhm.
I've been that person who kinda treats social media as like a bulletin board. Like, I post
Yeah.
about the events that are happening. I've seen, that my nonprofits just post about asking for donations or maybe
Yeah.
just sharing an update, but, like, what's missing from that? How can nonprofits create content that actually builds relationships?
So it's going to feel this is not going to make sense. What I'm going to say. um, but just hang with me here. Again, and I'll say this, I've said this before, people are not going to social media to be sold to be pitched. I mean, we do, we get pitched and sold to all the time. It's an
Yeah.
insane, I buy everything off of Instagram, it seems like, but I'm not going there to shop necessarily. So what's getting me to get interested to buy the course, to donate to the organization, whatever, is things that don't necessarily seem obviously connected to it. So if, as an organization, humanizing, like we need faces, you need faces on your feed. People need to know who is behind the organization. They need to know who's running it, who's working it, from your intern who's there for the summer to your CFO. Like people want to know who is behind it. And if you go look at your analytics, which I don't harp a ton on analytics. I know they're super important, but I think when people become analytics obsessed, they miss the point. They get paralyzed and they don't post it again. Whatever. But if you look at your highline, like what gets attention, if a human face is on the feed, that video, that reel, that post will get way more attention than anything else. It's it's kind of pointless to do a post without a face on it, unless There's a carousel. Carousels are really good because those are intended, the viewer followers know that it's for swiping and info collecting. Like if you're going to be sharing information about an upcoming gala, or about a case study of a project you just did and you want to share like data and facts, that's a way to do it. It shouldn't be your primary. Video should be your primary form of content. And a single static image is a waste of time and you really shouldn't do it. Like it's filler. It's just filler. Um, it doesn't really have a lifespan. Video has a lifespan for weeks and weeks and weeks, and a single post like lives for 24 hours, and then it will never get pushed into anybody's feed ever again. Um, so I would say people. And if it's not you, if you don't want to be the one on camera, find people that will be on camera.
Yeah.
An example I love to give, and they really go over the top. But the Milwaukee Public Library, if you're not following them, go follow the Milwaukee Public Library. Other libraries have followed suit now. A lot of libraries do this, but I feel like they were the pioneers. They just do a bunch of like reels or skits or sketches or things like that around books using their entire staff. They've got the map guy, who is this sweet little man who's totally awkward on camera, just giving a tour of maps, and they edit it really kind of creatively. Like somebody did that. You get to know the cast of characters. That's kind of the next trend of in social media is like, if you don't want to be the spokesperson, fine, get a cast of characters, and those cast of characters are the people that work in your office with you. Um, yeah. I don't know if that's an
That's
answer people like or
fantastic.
not.
No, well, I totally get what you mean, by that sounded counterintuitive, but it's not, right? Like, that's what we're interested in. We wanna know
Yeah.
the people behind the scenes.
Mm,
And, as nonprofits, we do have to be careful about putting our clients up on these
correct.
things,
Yeah.
and it is safer to keep it to your
Yeah.
cast of characters of your staff.
Yeah.
So, I love that, I love that.
Yeah.
Now now you've talked about stories and DMs with me as well and how
Yes.
important it is to use those and how they're not being utilized.
Yes.
How can nonprofits use those to deepen the engagement with their donors, their volunteers, their supporters? Like
Oh my
talk
gosh.
to us about all stories and DMs.
But this is my favorite topic because nobody knows this, it feels like, and it's so powerful. This is such a powerful way to connect with your audience. So Insta Stories just is a very low-fi, like low lift reel video that you can post, lasts for 24 hours on your stories. You can post hundreds of them if you want to. You can post one a day if you want to, but it only lives 24 hours, it goes away. And then we all know DMs are direct messages happening behind the scenes. And you can DM strangers unless somebody has a setting turned off where they don't accept DMs for people that don't follow them. So that's kind of just like what these two things are. Instagram stories are not necessarily effective for outreach to a new audience. In fact, they aren't at all. You only see somebody's story if you're following this account. But why this matters and why this is important is it is such a powerful networking tool. Let's say you go to let's say, Wendy, you and I are at, some sort of networking event, some sort of thing, a gala, whatever. And we meet and we connect and we're like, oh, I don't even carry business cards anymore. I do because some people really want them, but like I don't use business cards because it gets put in my back pocket. It's a dead object. It doesn't do anything. There's no life to it. It usually gets forgotten about. I'll never think about it again. Instagram, though, is living. It is breathing. It's active. And so I will say, yeah, I'll take your card. Can we follow each other on Instagram? So we'll pull our phones out. We'll follow each other immediately. What now happens for the next 2 weeks in particular, the algorithm will say, Instagram algorithm will say, okay, Wendy just started following Sheena. She's really interested. That must mean she's freshly interested in whatever Sheena's content's about. We're going to make sure Wendy sees Sheena's Insta stories like every day for the next two
Oh, it
weeks.
does do that. I have
It
noticed this.
it prioritizes your new follows because you've expressed new interest in a thing. So it wants to make sure your new interest doesn't get buried. This is a 2 week window of time where even if you post on Insta story once a day, and when I tell you it could be a picture of a cup of coffee, like I don't care what it is. This is why I love this so much. It's keeping my name top of mind on your Instagram. You're seeing my name, you're seeing my business every single day for 2 weeks at least, if not longer, as long as I'm consistent. And that that power, that like the power of that kind of burns me into your subconscious a little bit. And of course, if I am posting stuff that's relevant or interesting or just personal, so be it. You get to watch it, you get to know more about me, you get to like care more about me. But like the name gets popped up. And what an example I'd love to give about this, like as a success story, is I had followed somebody who she's a balloon maker and she does installations for events and galas and whatever. She didn't post on her Instagram feed for, I want to say 3 weeks straight. Nothing on her feed. But she was posting her Insta stories every single day because she was down in the South and they were doing those like sorority house big balloon installations that you might see on
Oh.
TikTok and
Mhm.
Instagram. So she's down there doing this big thing. So every day she's posting, and it's sloppy photos, nothing's cute. They're working through the night. Like there's nothing adorable other than just it's fascinating. It's like watching how the sausage is made, kind of like, oh wow, that's how they get all those balloons up there. Or what it could be a picture of her breakfast sandwich. I didn't care. She was in front of my eyeballs nonstop for 2 weeks, even though she never posted to her grid. It took me about by day 9 of her being in front of my face for a light bulb to go off in my head and go, oh my gosh, I need to introduce her to this person and this person. They do these types of events and will like, duh, like they need to know who she is and I'll make this connection. We know the
Yeah.
science of having to hear something 7 times or whatever before it sticks. Like that's like a sales and marketing advertising thing. This is the same thing. We're selling ourselves or our organization or what we do. We need to be in front of people's eyeballs a lot more than one time. And so Insta story is so powerful that way because that will keep you top of mind of the people that just became fans of you or that just met you. That's why a very long worded way to say Insta stories
No,
are the bomb. And it's a good
that makes
practice to
way
get
more
comfortable on
sense.
camera.
Because when you started down the whole, it's a networking tool, I was like, what? Where are you going with this? I had no idea. That is genius. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Talk
really
to me
good.
about DMs though, because
DMs.
I'm not a DM person and I get
Okay.
DMs all the time and I ignore them and I'm horrible about it. So I'm sorry, listeners, if you have DM'd me and I've ignored you. I'm just telling you now I suck at this. So,
Okay. Well, so you're gonna sort of maybe counterproof my my point here in a second. But here, even though you ignore your DMs, you still see that you've been DM'd, right? Like you still
yes,
open your thing.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't care who you are,
I just
how
feel
big you
bad
are.
because they'll message me and I don't see it for like 3
Sure.
weeks.
Well, you actually can set up an auto reply to your DMs. Did you know that?
No, I did not. I know that people can do this. I don't know how to do
Okay.
this.
So you can do that if you don't want to miss messages or you want to appear rude, but you prove my point that you still always look at them. So no matter how big an organization is, whatever, people check their DMs. People like being told that their work is great or that they're interesting or that and sliding into a DM should not be a sales pitch. Ever, ever, ever. I think it's stupid. I immediately delete those because I'm like, you don't even know anything about my business. Like you just want something
Yeah,
from me.
exactly.
But if it's a DM just commenting on my work, like that trip looked really, really cool. You must have had so much fun. You didn't ask me anything. You just commented. And I'm like, I did. It was really great. Benign, happy, cheery, whatever, nothing creepy. It's just real. It's just a human connection. If you start doing that with people that you want to make connections with, this is where you get kind of targeted. You get strategic. Think about people. Sorry, I'm kind of talking a little. I'm a little discombobulated. Let me back up just a little bit. DMs are a really effective way to not, um, and not in a creepy way, get someone's attention, and they will pay you attention because people always read their DMs. And I think you need to think of 2 camps of people you want to get attention from. Either people you already have connections with, just warm leads, people that are already good contacts, they're good supporters. You just want to keep that friendship alive. And then there's a column of people you're like, they don't know me from Adam, but I want to get in their life. And they won't open an email from me because they're getting spammed all the time with email. They're
Right.
not going to pick up their phone because they've got an assistant or whatever, but they look at their DMs. It is a direct line to the person who you want to have attention from. So then that's where you got to get smart. I was like, I'm not here to pitch you something. I just want to admire your work. I want to admire what you guys are doing. I'm going to give you props. And then you're going to get curious about me. The person that I'm kind of just peppering with occasionally, not obsessively. This was so cool. I'll comment on work. This was really great. That must have taken a lot of asking thoughtful questions. Whoa, was that a really intense like fundraising ramp up? Like that seems super insane. You guys must be so proud of yourself. Like really nice human things to say. This person's gonna get curious about you. Like, who is this person? A, they seem really cool and nice because they're not weird and they're just asking nice things. And then they're going to start looking into me and start commenting on my stuff. It's just this like, it's a little manipulative, but it is a way to organically get in front of the people. And so, my example here that I like to give of how to effectively get the attention of people you want to work with, connect with, make connections with. This is a wedding world example, but a friend of mine was building his business and he was trying to get into the luxury space. And he did really beautiful stuff, but he didn't have a lot of clout or connections yet. He ended up doing this styled shoot with a very famous photographer, or no, not photographer, a very famous stationer. And I can't remember who it was, doesn't really matter. But I was just like, whoa, Caleb, how did you pull that person? And he was like, I just have been DMing him for the last 6 months, like building a friendship and
Wow.
admiring what he does. And I just say, he's like, it's all genuine, it's all real. But like, I just wanted him to know who I was and to like maybe be my friend. And 6 months later, because of this connection, right? This guy's like, I want to do this shoot with you. Like, I love what you're building. And so he's doing out of the goodness of his heart because he's got this connection with Caleb. To me, that was such a light bulb moment. And that story is like a decade old. That was before, people still aren't using DMs this way. They're still trying to sales pitch and ask for stuff.
Yeah.
Just be a person. Like, social media is supposed to be social. And that would be like how I would highly recommend to use those two platforms is yeah, like slide in people's DMs and just be like a nice person.
It sounds like basically we need to be hero humans on social media is the
Yeah.
message here.
Yeah.
This makes sense. You're making social media make sense to me. Thank you for that.
Good. It's like use the tool in the way that you would want it to be used on you. Like the
Mhm.
golden rule, right? And it doesn't have to be I mean, you can deep dive and get crazy with strategy and matrices and what I'm sorry, that's just not sustainable for me. It's just not sustainable. And I'm in this world, let alone someone who's not in this world. So, what is the most powerful thing? Well, networking and one-on-one
Mhm.
human connection. And if we see Instagram as a room of like a networking room and not like a sales pitch, it's going to it's going to serve you so much better, and you're going to have fun doing it because you're going to enjoy the connection. It's not just this sleazy like pitch all this pitch to the faceless. You're actually like,
Yeah.
who you're talking to now.
Yeah. No, I love this. This is so helpful for me. I hope it's helpful for my listeners. So
Good.
I'm going to pivot a little, but I have a feeling we're going to land back in the same place. So
Mhm.
what I know this is a pet peeve of yours is
Okay.
when someone says, I'm going to just have my team create the content.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can see it all over your face. So can you talk to that a little bit? Because I really enjoyed your explanation when we talked about it before. It made so much sense to me. And I feel like this is something people don't realize. And I think it comes back to that human
Yes.
quotient. So tell us
Again,
why
I'm
this is your pet peeve and what you think why they should
okay.
not do this.
Again, I'm feeling quizzed. It's like,
This
I
is
mean,
not an ambush. I
I
promise. I
know.
will tell
No,
you
no,
all
no,
the
it's good.
answers.
I'm like, do I still hold the same opinion as I did a month ago when we chatted? I must.
Maybe.
The problem with it is if you want to outsource your social media, um, the whoever you're outsourcing to didn't build what you built. They don't know the story. They can be a talking head, they can be a spokesperson, but they aren't the person that people are trying to um, invest in, support, donate to. They want to cheer on you. They don't want to cheer on like an AI bot or a manufactured
Right.
face. I've had people be like, well, I'm just going to do like an AI person. I go, guys, I'm going to say right now, kiss of death, don't do it. Do not give in to this temptation. It is the biggest ick on social media. It is the biggest ick. And it's so tempting for people who don't want to be on camera to be like, I'm going to just create AI humans. Please don't do it. We all see through it. And it is so disingenuous. And especially in an age where people are getting really, really nervous about AI and manipulation and what's real, what's not real. Do not create AI humans, I beg of you. And to my
Even of
point,
yourself. I'm just
even
gonna
of
caveat that.
yourself.
Even of yourself.
even of
I've
yourself.
seen I went to a workshop where they showed you how to do it
Yeah,
and, uploading the picture and then the script and having it
don't do
read
it.
it so you don't have to be in front of the camera, and it was creepy AF. I'm just telling you.
I know the technology is good. It's not good though. It's not good for the human connection piece that we're trying to do. People want to invest in people. They don't want to
Yes.
invest in um, a sales pitch or an AI bot or the summer intern. Unless the summer intern's really good at her job or his job and like creates a whole series and you become big fans of the summer intern, they want to know who you are. And so I don't know if that's what I said before, but like it is
Yeah.
really critical. And I think the where people get hung up is like, well, I don't know if I look professional enough or I appear professional enough or I'm not always camera ready. I blah 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 blah. Good news, good news, you shouldn't be camera ready. It's actually another Instagram it. Over polished, over perfect, over put together is like it dates you. It actually makes us look a little boomer. Like it's just not good. We don't want to do it. We want to be raw and authentic. People trust that more than sitting and having like um an overscripted, perfectly polished hair coif newscaster situation. So
Yeah.
um if that's one of your hangups, like let that go because actually it doesn't serve you. It hurts you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I completely agree. I think it's not only that human quotient, but it's also if you outsource it to someone who's not as connected to the mission and
Yeah.
isn't as plugged into the brand voice
Yeah.
and in those things, like there can be so many gaps and that can cause people to unfollow you, which is the
Yeah.
worst thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, you've given us so many tools on how to use your cast of characters. Why would you not
Yeah.
at this
Cast of
point?
characters. Truly, cast of characters. I think, and what I'll do actually too is come up with a kind of a list of some accounts that I think are doing a good job of this, like just for inspiration. Because another hang up is people feeling like, well, I'm not creative enough. Like, we're not a creative, funny team.
Right.
We're not joke writers or sketch writers and or editing. And so like that's another reason people stop. Or don't even start, I guess, is because they just don't feel like it's gonna hit. And that's where I'd say let's go back and build the muscle. Let's just start with the B-roll footage. Like you can't join the varsity swim team if you don't know how to swim. You can't,
Truth.
you just like simply can't. So if you are feeling like you're just not there and it's not fun to do that stuff because it feels too complicated or too heavy, fine, let's dial it back. Showing up, visibility is better than nothing. Like something is better than nothing. Even if it's not the most strategic, amazing, hooky stuff, think of it as working out. You are building a muscle. This is day one of a new workout routine that you're doing, and your goal, is whatever. Today is like we're doing 3-pound weights. And so 3-pound weights is setting up the camera and just getting comfortable being on camera. And then
Yeah.
from there you can build on top of it. That's what I really try to hammer home with anybody I talk to is they start comparing to all the funny stuff, the great accounts they're seeing. And I'm like, I get it. They didn't just wake up one day good at it. Like they just
Yeah.
didn't. So where can we start where we at least just practice being visible?
Yeah. Yeah. After our previous discussion, I just kind of reminded myself practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
Something
And you have to
done is
practice
better
it.
than perfect. There
Yeah.
are things I
That's
post that
true.
I'm like iffy about, but I'm like, "Ugh, I'd rather just have something up there. And
Yeah.
even if it's not going to perform very well, I am allowing the muscle memory. I'm building, it's like a habit. I don't want to get out of the muscle memory of putting stuff up there. If I let perfection get in the way. And often, annoyingly so, the things I spend the least amount of time on end up performing better, the stuff I spend a lot of time on. So let that be a lesson. It's just don't, don't think about anything and it's probably going to go great for you.
Pretty much. I mean, I've been there, done that. Really and truly. Is there
Yeah.
anything else that hangups or myths or things that you think just nonprofit leaders just don't stress about, don't think about, just get out there and do it? Anything else you want them to just stop worrying about?
Yeah, I want them to realize, and this goes for genuinely, this could apply to anybody, but with nonprofits, you're thinking our day to day is boring. What we do isn't super interesting. I don't know what to film. Who would want to watch this, et cetera, et cetera. You don't realize how interesting what you do is. Even like, and
Yeah.
here's what I mean. People will watch rug cleaning videos, right? Like I have sat and watched a rug get cleaned,
Yes, I
just
have. I
mesmerized,
absolutely have.
right? You're
Yes.
like, that's incredible. I watched it all the way to the end. It's very
Yep.
satisfying.
Mhm.
That if people are watching, like you are more interesting than rug cleaning, and your organization is more interesting than rug cleaning.
Oh,
Stuffing
true.
envelopes. Here's an example. Maybe you're stuffing envelopes for a giant whatever fundraising push or something like that. How that is interesting to me. I'm not in your world. I don't do what you do every day. To me, it'd be interesting to see the team, even your envelopes signed, lined up, people folding, and just like the assembly line of envelope
Mhm.
stuffing. That is good content, my people. Like people will watch that because you just kind of get locked in. You're like, huh, like and so don't discount your everyday. Don't think no one wants to see this. People want to know how the sausage is made. This is why documentaries are so insanely popular. This is why behind the scenes
True.
content is so popular. This is why the concept of like cast of characters is popular because we're trained by also like reality TV. There's always a cast of characters and you get to see behind the scenes of how things, even though reality TV is very manufactured, or very produced, don't discount your day to day as being not interesting. A cousin of mine, I gave her this advice, and she's an embroiderer. She does embroidery stuff. She's like, I've run out of ideas. Like I can only show so many patches that I create. And I was like, how do you thread your machine? She's like, what? I go, how do you thread that machine looks crazy. How would you thread that? She's like, you want to see me thread a machine? I go, yeah, I do want to see how you thread that machine. So she did a whole video of threading her machine. That thing blew
Mhm.
up because people were like, whoa, that's so interesting. So film the envelope stuffing.
Yeah.
Film if it's a hey, this is the day, Friday's the day we clean the office together. Film it. People, it humanizes your company. It gets me locked in on who you are. Funny moments happen out of it. You're not selling me anything. And then I feel like warm and fuzzy towards you. So then when you go and actually do the pitch, when you're doing the
Yes.
call to action, I am bought in on the people that I have been lovingly watch stuff envelopes or vacuum the floor or do a company picnic or whatever it is. You're like my own little reality TV show. And then you've asked me for something and I'm like, I love this group. Of course I'm going to drop an easy $50 or whatever it is. So
Yeah.
it is, you are filming reality TV.
Yeah. You
For
are.
more, and that can be done by just setting it up on B-roll and filming life that way, filming the envelope stuffing, filming the whatever it is, the staff meeting, um, the cleanup after a I mean, it all is interesting to people. So don't discount what you do as uninteresting. You're actually super fascinating.
I love that. Okay, is there anything else that you wanna say before we're done? Because I feel like we got so much in that nugget. I feel like we could
We
tangent
did. Okay, so I
down
have a
all of
couple.
it,
Yeah,
but
I have a couple
yeah.
resources to kind of get people going. Three resources I wanted to highlight. One, I didn't really talk deeply about talking head reels. I touched on it, but talking head reels, or they call them yap to camera videos, is like where you're sitting in your car or you're, wherever, and you're just talking to the camera and you're giving like a hot take or an opinion or an idea. These are super effective, especially if they're interview style, where you're instead of being very scripted and like, today I'm going to talk about this, it's like, if someone were to ask you an interview question, you just kind of organically answer it, and then you get a great talking point. So I have a freebie. It's talking head interview questions. So that if you wanted to batch a bunch of reels and videos of you answering questions as though you're being interviewed, so you get some organic content. It's a great little resource. It's questions that I would ask you because I know nothing about your business, and so I would probably ask you things you wouldn't think that would be interesting to someone like me. So that link will be in the show notes, and it gives you, I think it's 10 questions. And you can read it and answer, or pro tip, if you had someone sit behind the camera and ask you the questions live, it actually feels more organic and you get better footage out of that. There's also, I do something called a first impressions audit. So some people, they're like, well, okay, we want to create more, we want to do more things. Um, but like, we don't even think our Instagram feed like looks good right now, or we're just really not sure like what message it's sending. So it's very quick. It's very, very fast. It's called a first impressions audit. And that's literally what it is. I go onto your account and I give you my first impressions. What do I know about your organization? What do I not know? What do I like? What was my favorite reel? Why did I like it? Where am I confused? So it's just kind of a quick, like, as a viewer, how could we, and then it's the little marching orders. Okay, here are the little steps you can take to update some of these things so that you can fill in those information gaps that I don't understand about your organization. And then so that's an audit. And then the last one is called the Really Fun Club, which we mentioned. And the Really Fun Club, REELY, it's really fun. It is it's a monthly guide, and it includes live co-working and editing with me. It's actually it's a screaming deal. It's only $47 a month, but you get 10 reels, 10 audios a month with complete filming instructions for the B-roll you just took, or instructions to talk to camera if you're feeling a little bit more brave. Either way you want to make content. The guide gives you 10 audios, 10 instructions, how to use it for your organization. Excuse me. And then once a month, we meet live on Zoom and we edit together. So there's an accountability component to it as well. And when people join the Really Fun Club, they actually get a free first impressions audit. So little bonus.
I'm totally signing up for that this month. I'm just saying.
Good,
I've
good,
been warning you I was going to do it. I'm finally ready. I'm going to sign up because
good. Well,
I'm
and this
excited about
summer,
this.
let's see, by the time this airs, we're still going to be the summer months. So July and August, I'm calling it hot B-roll summer. Because it's summer's busy. It's just, it does no,
Yeah.
I feel like no matter what stage of life you're in, summer just feels busy for lots of reasons. And so I'm trying to make the guide these summer months to be a little bit of a lighter lift. So it's going to look, it's actually going to be really, really easy to do because it's designed to just bang out a bunch of stuff so you can actually enjoy your summer. And then the guide will look more traditional back in September, but it'll all still be jam-packed with good stuff. So yeah,
Love it. Love it. Well, Sheena, thank you so much for joining today.
you're so
I
welcome.
really think listeners are going to get a lot out of this. And I love getting to hang with you, of course, always.
Always.
So thank you for doing this. And guys, thanks for listening to this episode, and we'll see you next time.
Sounds great. You can find me on behindyourscenes.co and slide into my DMs anytime. I promise you I'll answer them.
Perfect. Thanks, Sheena. All right.
All
Bye,
right.
guys.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Nonprofit Nook. We're building better nonprofits together. If you found today's episode helpful, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with other nonprofit leaders who need support. Follow the Nonprofit Nook on social media and sign up for our email list for extra tips and updates. You can also visit thenonprofitnook.com to see the show notes and leave a comment telling me what topics you want next. Your feedback shapes the show. See you next time.